Well, I mean, you open a teammate session to create a new branch for this because I already have one.
No, I wasn't going to create a new branch. Git fetch Raphael.
So you want to that we get into your machine, right? So
I don't have you added as the remote. Okay.
do you have my .files set?
No, actually, I went and got Yatter.
What?
Yet another dot repo, Yatter.
Yeah.
No. Can you show me the link?
Sure. Actually, I have Brian's fork of it, so I'll link you that. Because do you use Mac or you use Ubuntu? Raphael.
Can you repeat that?
Do you use Mac OS X or do you use Ubuntu?
Yeah, I use Arch Linux, but it should work from.
Yeah, like the only supported versions are right now on Debian and Mac. So I think you need to make some changes for after.
My .files are based on on the link that some pretty just sent. So if as I started working on this, probably it's better if I have Bobby start the teammate session, and if you guys want to work on this, we can switch it up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we could all have our own teammate sessions open. We just have multiple terminals, so we just look at whoever is driving.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so by the way, how do I set up a teammate session?
Well, you need to download Teammate. Go to teammate.io and follow the instructions there.
Hold on, let me make sure I have teammate already. Oh no, I don't.
Maybe we at some point, John, for being user. I mean, I think that you are trying to become a being user at the moment, right?
Yep.
So at some point we should try to consolidate our .files to have the same .files and maybe publish it on Agile Ventures organization for other people to use.
Yep, that's actually what Brian already did with yet another dot repo. He has his own fork of it because the main version is for OS X, and so he's got a fork of it for Debian.
Yeah, actually, like, are the dot files for Debian or for Mac, or are they for Debian as well? Because like I mean, I installed it as it was from the main repo, and it worked without any problems on mine.
I'm surprised because usually at least parts of it are lacking fonts, lacking some of the.
Yeah, I had some issues with the terminal colors, so I had to stick with 256-bit terminal colors. That's the only issue I had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Brian made a post about it on Agile Ventures for how to get set up with Yatter for Ubuntu.
Let me know when you guys join.
Have you posted your?
Yeah, I can see here.
Alright, I need to. Before I come, I'm just gonna add you as a remote to mine.
Somebody joined my session.
Yeah, I joined you.
Okay.
Rafael.
Okay. Get remote and.
I will show you. Let's wait for John to finish what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just actually.
What?
Which color scheme are you using, Rafael, on your?
Solarize.
Oh, solarized light, right?
Yeah, light. My file switches when when I am in daylight. It's use solarized light, and when it get like 6 p.m. at the evening, it will switch to dark.
Wouldn't you want it to be the other way?
What?
It's like when it gets dark, you should switch to light because you're turning on the lights.
I don't know. I think I read in some place, but I can switch it up. Maybe you're right.
Anyway.
Yeah, but usually
Yeah.
like when it gets dark and if you have light, it like hits the eyes. Like if it's
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I think the problem is that if you have all the dark around you and you set it to light, it will
yeah,
damage your eyes.
Hmm.
same.
I think.
I mean, mine are already damaged. I have -2.
-2? -2 what?
Eye power. So
What is that a scale of?
I mean, -2 diopter on my both my eyes. For
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I'm -2.25. Mine. All right, so we're looking at the create method, and it looks like you've gotten started by extracting out a service.
yep,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah,
So
I think that's the best option now.
other things that I did was to promote some of the method to be put on the public API of the controller because I am calling some of,
Build path for create, OmniAuth parameters for YouTube. Were those the two that you added, or are all these new? I could probably just look at the diff. Um,
I is this commented on your branch, Rafael? Because I didn't really find it there. I mean, this authentication creator service.
but yeah, I don't think you pushed up all your files, Raphael, to the pull request that you opened.
It seems like he's dropped out because his terminal's output is freezed and
Mm.
I can't really hear you.
Yeah, it looks like we lost him.
His teammate session is frozen.
Yeah, he should be back shortly, though. Oh, he's back. Hey, Raphael, I don't think you shared all your files on your repo.
Rafael? Oh, he's on mute.
sorry, I was mute and I was talking. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
so you haven't really pushed up all your changes to your branch.
Oh, the last changes I did, you mean?
Yeah, the service object.
Okay, let me push it then. Okay, check it out now.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
There it is.
I'll just have a look at how it goes.
All right, now we see two files changed. See the introduction of some private methods. We really need to turn Hound off. I think it's annoying.
Yeah, I was like thinking of working on a fork. Like I forked Hounds here and I was thinking like it would be better to have a web interface instead of just commenting on issues. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Rafael, like you've created this new OmniAuth method, so I think you should update all the references. Like instead of request.env, you should just make it OmniAuth, right?
Yeah. I just as I am focusing only in the create action at the moment, I just try to focus on that part, and then when I work on another action and I have duplication in it with the method I extracted before, I will just switch it up. I am not doing everything in a single um, pass. So
Okay.
let's for For this session, let's try to focus on the actions creator service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the problem I was thinking now was that this indirection, because I just passing the instance from the controller to the service, and then I call back this logic which is inside the controller. Um, this
Which
one.
line is it, by the way? Like your teammate session is frozen, so I can't really see what you're looking at.
Okay, go ahead and see the pull request. Then see the line 62. John, are you having problem with my session too?
Yeah, it's frozen for me.
Okay, let me restart it then.
62 on the service, right? Or
No, 68 in the controller.
oh yes, yes.
So as you can see, I am sending the instance of the controller to the service, and then what I did was to call back the method that is inside the controller. So I was feeling like there was a lot of indirection because I have to send the instance and then call back that logic that reside inside the controller. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what you guys think about that.
Um, which can you see which line was it again? I just don't seem to find it.
68.
68. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more
Uh,
thing that's weird is like you're setting in the flash notice before the redirect. I mean, if the sign in and redirects fails for some reason, then the flash notice will still be shown, right?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I mean on line 67 and 68, first you are setting up the flash notice, and then you're performing the method sign in and redirect. So if the
Uh,
sign in method fails for some reason, the flash notice will still be shown on the view, right?
okay, so what I was talking about was the definition of the method at and logging without.
Yeah, I was just
Uh,
talking on a side note. Never mind.
okay.
did you ever make a new teammate session?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't pass the link to it. Hmm. So how can I see? I just went ahead and entered the teammate session and didn't see the URL for the session.
Okay, right. Tmux show messages. Show messages needs to be hyphenated.
Okay.
Okay, show messages. Hmm. I just see something that said protocol version mismatch.
Okay, well, quit that session.
Okay.
And you might want to p-kill teammate in case you got some weird instance hanging open.
No, I don't have any. I will start a new one. Wait.
Okay.
There you go. Are you guys
Yeah, I can see it now.
okay? Cool. So I will show you what I was talking about. Something. Maybe the next. Okay, if you can see this line.
Yep. So what's the
Okay.
authentication variable? I don't see it defined.
Yeah,
I guess it's
the authentication. It's I just
method.
switch. Yeah, it's a method. I just switched a temporary variable. um, to be a method, just to remove duplication, but because I think that that will be needed in most method inside this controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see something like that that is not defined inside the action, probably it will be a method on most of my refactorings. So if you see this, this will be a method inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically what I was saying was like, I mean, I don't know if you understand what I said, John.
Well, go
Yeah,
on.
I mean, I think you're referring to like passing the controller to the service and then calling a method of the controller from the service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's a problem. I think that's appropriate in the right situation.
Which part?
Passing in a listener and then from the
No.
service calling messages.
No, I mean, yeah, that's the proper way to do it when you are just separating logic from the controller, because there will be stuff like flashing to the UI messages or calling the Rails logger that will be part of Rails, and are just trying to isolate ourselves from Rails. But
Yep.
the problem that I see, which points me out that this controller is doing a lot of stuff, is that I am calling back logic from one service back to the listener, and these methods have logic which doesn't belong to Rails in particular. Just this stuff. Like this could be callbacks. That the way that I did it before.
Yeah.
So
So,
probably yeah.
why
Go
don't you
ahead.
want to move this to the service? Like the methods you're calling here, why don't you want them to move the? Why don't you want to move them to the service and
I don't
keep them in the
think.
controller?
That would couple the service with Rails, like
Yeah.
the Flash variable, the Rails
Okay.
logger. This service is something that is floating in its own world.
Yeah, but then I mean, like he's done with the events, he could do it that way, right?
Yeah, but
Uh,
what I did was passing the callback from the controller.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
logic there was only very simple methods that needed to be called instead of actually defining them inside the controller. He just passed in a couple stabby lambdas.
yeah.
Uh,
As you can see here, there is nothing that belongs to Rails. You can run this entire service creator in isolation without any problem. So, yeah. So what
So
I
what
was
you're saying is that even within these methods that you're calling back to, there's a lot of logic that could be expected out of those methods. And then you're
yeah.
saying that, oh my goodness, it looks like maybe we should just extract an object out of here, another
Yeah,
object.
yeah. But what I
Like,
see here, what I see, there are a lot of responsibilities inside the controller, because if we try to write a sentence saying all the stuff that this controller do,
hmm
apart from just starting from the fact that it creates authentications, we will see that it also create a link GitHub profile, and also create it also attempt to log in with authorization, and it also create a new authentication for current user, and it also creating a new user with authentication. So those all, it seems to me that those behavior are part of its own particular object, not exactly inside a method for the
hmm
controller.
yeah.
So what I was thinking was to starting to extract those piece of logic to its own services objects in our new service layer,
hmm
and then call all those objects from inside the creator's service object.
hmm Do you have any experience with decorators?
Yeah.
Do you think this is an appropriate place to use a decorator?
Yeah, if you see my pull request, I actually don't know where to put this logic in particular.
hmm
The GitHub, this one, the link to GitHub profile, and also the link to YouTube profile, the link to YouTube. I think,
One more
yeah.
thing, by the way, like, see, if the link to GitHub profile does work on the user model, I mean, on a specific user, so what will be the problem if we put this method in inside the user model? Like, the link to YouTube and the link to GitHub could be extracted into the user model, right?
What will be the problem with that? Let's see. I mean,
That could work. I mean, we wouldn't take the entire thing into the user model. We would have maybe that conditional be extracted to the model, and this would
Yeah,
yeah.
stay
I mean,
here.
like, you could do something in the controller, like current user or link to YouTube, and then you could implement the functionality inside the model, right?
Yeah, totally. I
I
totally
mean,
agree. This could
I mean this.
be, yeah,
Yeah,
go
go on.
ahead. I mean, this could be part of the talk. Sorry. What? Yeah. So this could be an entire different method
Yeah.
inside the controller. This part.
By the way, is accessing the request variable from the model a good idea, or I think,
Can you repeat that, please?
I mean, like right now we have request.env omniauth.auth. Like, is it a good idea to like access that from the model, or do you think that's a bad idea?
You mean this part?
Yeah, I mean, like there is this in. Hold on, I just logged out. Give me a minute. Yeah, I mean in line 122 you have the request.env omniauth.auth. Like, is it possible, or is it a good idea to access this from the model, like the request.env variable?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting exactly what you mean.
The You've got the environment variable,
Yeah.
right? That seems like it wouldn't be appropriate in the model,
No,
don't
of
you
course
think?
not. No, of course not. So that's what I was about to remove from here. So my next refactor would be something like removing this to be this, and would have something like this here. Um, yeah, something like that.
Then what would be left to pull inside the model?
So yeah, now we could do something. All of this will be part of the model. So you will have something like, um,
Would we have to inject the controller in here so that
no,
it can
start,
call?
no, wait a second. You will have something like link to YouTube, but
Mhm.
this will show you. This will show us that this will need to be part of another type of object, not the model, because a link, something like that's what I think. A link doesn't shouldn't be part of a model, I think. But
Right,
let's see.
because that's presentation logic.
Yeah, that's a presentation concern. So in this case, we could do just if, wait, token.
But in this case, link to YouTube, is that actually talking about an anchor tag, or is that talking about making an association in the model?
Yeah, it's basically not adding a few like adding the user YouTube ID to the model. So,
Right.
and
So that's
that is
appropriate
why
for the model.
yeah, good idea to have it in the model.
I think that this should work.
Yeah, I mean, you need to include YouTube at the top from the model.
Include what?
The YouTube.
Oh, include the YouTube model. But the controller doesn't have
Yeah, I think like all the helpers are automatically included, but I think you need to do it in the model. I mean, you can check that out. I'm not really sure.
it. Okay. Wow. What?
I mean this is like the old logic, and I've changed it in my YouTube API refactor, so
Hmm.
you still have it.
Now treating it as a
Uh,
module and we can mix it in, or do you have a different approach?
I mean, you could
I
include the
think,
YouTube, and then
yeah. Well, let's move this back. I don't think this is a good idea because I just noticed that the YouTube model is part of the helpers. The helpers are part, basically stuff that you use from inside a view.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this would be a good idea to move logic, that particular logic to the controller, to the model, because of that.
I mean, actually, the YouTube thing is badly placed because I mean, the user video shouldn't be a part of the helper, should it? Like, it should be either part of the model, like user.videos or some other service object. So,
Hmm.
like that
Yeah,
YouTube places.
probably, but yeah, probably, but that's not what we are working on right now. Maybe we should write a new story and discuss that later.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at my refactoring branch, then you can see like I've extracted the functionality from the YouTube helper into the model. I mean, the
Do
videos
you
model.
have
Is there a diff that
sure?
we can view?
Yeah, sure. It's a pretty
Yeah.
large diff, so hold on. Okay, but
Um,
okay.
while you pull
Hold
that
on.
up, I posted into the group chat here, in the Hangout chat, architects. Um,
Uh, can you say that again? You broke up a bit for me, so.
yeah, it's called contexts, like where you have, in this example, it's like an add to cart context, where you have a user in a book, and you need to do some logic that joins them for this specific scenario. Um, it just it bubbled up in my mind because it was something similar here, where we're going to have like a YouTube, and we're going to have the user object, and we're going to be mixing them together in some way, and it's probably not just going to be, it's going to be a little bit of logic in there, right? And we might want to separate that out. And it's almost like a service, I think.
Um, oh, I don't know.
This is essentially a service.
You mean the link to YouTube? I think we are focusing in the wrong place at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because for instance, the link to YouTube, I don't think it's reference from our new service. Let me see. You see, the link to YouTube is not our first concern. The first one would be probably attempt login with auth.
Okay, true.
Yeah, yeah. The create actions like our first. So we could leave
Yeah,
the link to YouTube for later. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
and John, like the link to the diff is in the chat, but you need to search out. Like it's a pretty large diff, so you need to do a bit of scrolling.
Okay, let me pick
So
up.
what we can do from here is, well, this will be kind of complex, I think. If you can see, I mean, we can use this part. Let me think. At least we have the path. Um, yeah. So basically, if we extract this, probably we should let this for now here because it's a simple logic that should could be inside the controller.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we should just focus in the next line of the service for now, just to see what are the boundaries that we have between the controller and this new actions controller service. Probably the problem was that I extracted the most logic heavy action to be a service,
Mm-hmm.
and it's dependent in a lot of outside logic from the controller or inside the controller. So probably that was the problem.
Hmm.
I think that this is a pretty standard Rails stuff that probably could be here at the moment.
Yep.
The next one would be create new authentication for current user. At some point, I think that maybe the current user should have this logic inside. What do you think?
What do you mean?
I mean, I think that probably the current user should have I mean, the user model should have the create new authentication method inside
Okay.
because this seems like um, model logic to me.
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar enough with the backend to know.
Mm-hmm. With the backend, what?
Well, what is actually happening when we do current user.authentications.build? What's actually happening there?
Yeah, it's actually like almost the same as .new. Like it's creating a new authentication object for the current user.
So
Yeah,
we have an
but
authentication model.
yeah, there is a dedication model. That's just that's part of Rails. In fact, the build method.
Right.
So what it's doing is to the authentications or a relationship between current the users and authentications, it will create a new authentication and then associate that authentication to the current user in one
Mm-hmm.
line. So yeah, that's what it did. So and I don't I think that probably this method call should be inside the the user model, and then we could test this, and then we could create a new service from this.
Okay.
Or I mean, what will be the problem? Like this doesn't really. Okay, never mind. So like you wouldn't be putting that in the service object because it interacts with Rails, right?
Right. Well, the
Yeah, I
flashes and the
mean the
redirects.
flashes exactly the flashes and the redirect. So this will be something like first
I
let's
mean, like, would it go against design principles if like you would put line the authentications dot build in a service object, or like I mean, should you be putting that authentications dot build inside a service object?
um, which authentication logic, the one that I am putting now in the model.
Um, no, I mean the authentications dot build. That that also interacts with Rails in one way or the other. So like, shouldn't you shouldn't really be putting that in the service object, right? Because that interacts with Rails.
Yeah, exactly.
How does it interact with Rails?
I mean, it interacts with the model and like current user dot authentications dot build. So that fetches the current user relationships with the authentication and then creates a new object for that. So I'm not really
Hmm.
sure of that. So I was just asking, like,
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's interacting with Rails because that's active record.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, if it was just like authentication dot new, then that would just be the model functionality. There wouldn't be much. It's,
So you want
Yeah,
to call save with a bang and then handle errors?
no, sorry. I
Okay.
just
So it's save without a bang, and then you're gonna say errors.any.
no.
okay, it'll just
No,
return false to you.
if it's returned false, it will just alert the user with it. So
Okay.
what we are going to do is just to call current user, create new authentication with
Mm-hmm.
OmniAuth provider and OmniAuth UID. So that method call we do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this should work, I hope. No, it's not. So I made a mistake in here. Hmm. Wait.
There are two ends actually, so you need to remove the end at line number 8 and reindent line number 4.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, how did you do that? Like you reindented everything in Vim?
With the equals key.
And how
Okay.
did you select all that? Did you use?
Visual mode, I guess.
No, I normally well I use visual mode when I kind of tired, but I think I just have a lot of time doing that type of motion. I just hit the keys and that's all without using visual mode.
Wait, a chunk of text to have equals applied to it.
What
Like let's say you have line number 73 to, oh yeah,
yeah,
how did you do that? Like how did you select that?
you hit caps V and then you hit with my current number scheme you have to keep hit the line, the relative number that you want to go, and then hit up or down. So if
Okay.
you want to go 9 lines up, you hit first the visual key,
Yeah,
Cap
so
V, and then you hit 9 and then up, and you will select it. There. I have also
yeah, I get it.
another.
Like it's like
Yeah.
basically visual mode with
Yeah,
on the edge.
I agree. Just didn't see you highlight anything. You just seemed to do it without highlighting anything, which surprised me.
Yeah. Well, normally what I said was that normally I do it like this because I just have a lot of time doing this type of motion.
I don't know what motion you're referring to. What did you do to do it without highlighting?
One more
Oh,
thing.
I
Uh,
just indented the lines
All right, whatever. It's fine.
and what was the command you used to reindent it? Uh,
equals the
just
equals.
equals.
Yeah, equals, and you have to move to a point where all the lines that you want to indent get passed by the cursor.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Works. So it's for
Sure.
every type, right? Like I mean we work on all like JavaScript, Ruby, and all that, right?
Yeah, I have indentation sets for JavaScript and Ruby and also CoffeeScript.
Okay, let me try that.
So this is failing, I think, because we are mocking the wrong thing, right?
I don't know. Let's look at the suite test.
What is it that's failing, by the way?
For signing users, connecting to a new profile should not accept multiple profiles
Yeah, I guess
from
you need to add
extensions.
a should receive to create new authentication, I guess,
Yeah.
because
So,
it's a double, not an active record object.
mhm. So this is what is failing now.
Yes. So just like modify line number. Wait, your line numbers are a bit of messed up, so it's hard to see which one. But line number 2, which I see right now above, like 2 lines above 132, yeah. Modify that to be current user dot should receive, I guess. Or how is it modeled
Hmm.
there? Can you show your model? I mean, or the controller, like how do you access it? So you should stop like that.
Yeah. Is there current user?
Like current user dot create new authentication.
Is there a let set for the current user? Seems like.
Nope. It's I guess
If you
there is
look
a
at
there is a stub.
yeah, if you look 6 lines above user.stubchain.
16.
Oh, okay. It should be something like that, right?
Yeah, why are
Um,
your line numbers so weird? I mean,
he has relative line numbers. Um, uh, should it be off?
no, it should be current user actually, not user.
Okay. So like this.
Yep.
Is current? Is it defined here?
Yeah, if you have look at line 16, then it should be there.
Okay.
Current user doesn't exist.
Okay, then hold on. Scroll up.
Yeah. Okay, so it returns user. What if you do controller dot current user?
Yeah,
Can
controller that.
Mm. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the problem. So next step would
copy
be this
paste.
one, and also it should have the same, right?
Yeah, just
yeah.
false.
Oh, sorry, I made a mistake.
Controller dot current user dot should receive.
Should be new create new authentication.
And then controller dot current user.
What?
You're
Uh,
yeah at the
controller
beginning of
dot
your
current
line.
user dot should receive, not controller dot should receive.
Oh yeah, got it.
I need to go and have dinner, so I'll be back at 15 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, after this, probably I will have to go, John, to cook my lunch.
Yep, that's fine.
Let me commit this.
Yeah, I'll be back in 10 if you, John, you can stay in the hangout. Yes.
No, I think I need to work on other things now.
Okay, no problem. Bye.
See ya.
Right. So what happened was we switched the logic. Okay. Hmm.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Okay. So let me think about the next step. Should be probably extracting this to be inside a model.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should call this logic from the other service, authentication creator. Should call. Oh, in fact, you know what? I think we just could do something like this. No, wait. Because we need the logic for the actual redirect and that's that kind of stuff. So
Right.
this should be create no uh, hmm, new authentication new authentication. Hmm. Uh, yeah, we found out something here. This service is doing a lot of stuff also. This service also is handling creating new authentications. So probably we could just send, um, wait, let me think. Probably we could just send these callbacks to that particular service. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, we won't be able to do that because of this. This is doing another send here and here.
Mm-hmm.
So, huh. Let me just then create a new service at first and see what, how does it look like. Let's call it authentication creator for new user. Hmm. Oh, that would be a problem anyways, because we need to pass the callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. You know what? Let's do it like this. Better create authentication creator for new user service. I really don't like putting service to all the classes. I don't see the benefit of that,
Of what?
of putting service to all the new services classes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this will be um fine. It should be new.
So VSP, that opens in a new window or split?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think did you read the DHH blog post about architecture reverse applications?
I don't know what you're referring to.
The I think design indulgence is the name of it.
Can you link me?
Sure. Wait a second. No, test induced damage, design damage. He was uh, he was complaining about all the indirection that people is creating building Rails
Hmm.
application. He
Hmm.
linked a, a video from Jim Wyrick about that. I mean, Jim Wyrick was teaching how to decouple from Rails. I was watching that before joining you guys, and probably it will be interesting to see it.
Right. Okay. I'll definitely look this over.
Cool. We need the core user also. Core user. Okay. So now what you do is something like core user.
What is success raise, failure raise? How's that syntax work?
Oh, if you don't doesn't send any callback, it will raise an exception.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like I'm starting to code Java because we don't have types. This is a dynamic language, so
Right.
sometimes you send stuff, and if you forget to send them, you will have an error inside the spec. But if you don't test it, you will have that error in runtime, which mean will be probably happen in production.
Mm-hmm.
So this syntax help you to just be safe.
Right.
I think we should pass the path here. Switch this to be path. This to be path. Let's see. Okay.
Oh.
Undefined local variable you choose. What? Hmm. What did I say?
It might be specific to the tests.
You think
Anyway,
so?
yeah, I have to go right now. I'll be back like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
I have an interview I gotta prep for.
Cool. Okay. I also will stop here and we'll keep working later then.
Okay, sounds good. If not today, then tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
So later. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.